We are subject to open meeting law, so we're required to record everything.
I saw that.
Yes. Yes, so at the VACD annual meeting, Richard received a Supervisor of the Year, or a Supervisor Excellence Award.
Congratulations.
And we also had
I attended a lot of meetings.
Best in class, I think, right?
Hey, nice, huh?
Yeah.
and we also had Arena and Morgan, this is Arena.
Karen, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And another one of our staff, Morgan, received a nomination for the Sapling Award, which is excellence as a new staff member.
Right.
And then we also had two of our staff, Kate Wettergreen and Mel Offerdew, receive, there's plenty of chairs.
Plenty of chairs today.
Receive the Staff Excellence Award.
Wow, lots of awards.
Lots of
That's a
awards,
good. You guys are
yes.
really good then.
We're really good.
You got the newbies, the supervisors, and everything in between.
And everything in
And the
between.
old-
Just, yeah.
Yes.
So I think we should have Karen introduce herself.
Sounds great.
Maybe give us an idea of why she wants to be here.
Okay, so I'm Karen and I guess I have been involved a little bit before, without kind of knowing it. But I most recently had a conversation with Vicky, about many things. But, one of them was about the Conservation Board and all the good work that you do. And of course, I buy plants every year from you guys. So, and I have land. I have 225 acres up in Westford, but I also recently bought 32 acres in Fairfax, where I have a little farm. And someone came out and did Streamwise.
We walked it together.
Yes, we walked the stream together, even though there was no water in it. So, so I'm kind of a little bit involved already without really trying.
And I think we found that you were actually in our newsletter last year. And
Yes.
we didn't even know it.
There was a picture of me in the newsletter. I'm like, wow, look, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very familiar. I kind of backed into it the same way with just having different programs on my land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty neat, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has been.
Yeah.
Karen, can you tell us a little bit more about your other community activities and your background?
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you want to know, but I'm part of the Rotary. I've past president for 3 years. One of the things we're doing right now is that I've championed a number of things, I guess, but one of the big things that Vicky has helped me out with is we do the Rotary Cardiac Challenge. Raised last year, first year, 137,000, and we gave the hospital 120,000. I'm also on the hospital board, so I think there's a good marriage there. Almost done. I think I'm in year 8.
Whoa.
So 9 years is which are three-year terms. So is that good?
Yeah, and what did you do for a living? I remember you told me once way back when, but I can't recall, in New Hampshire before you moved to Vermont.
Okay, well, so I lived 30 years in New Hampshire, and I had a consulting training business, mostly in the Boston metropolitan area. I had like 15 trainers. Before that, I worked for a big wholesale company, one of the largest singly owned corporations in the country. I was VP for them, and I've worked for Wendy's, for Ford, for PepsiCo, and I've lived in a number of states. So is that good?
Yes, just very accomplished background and comes to us with a lot of skills. So, plus an interest in conservation, which is obviously key. So,
Yeah,
thank you, Karen.
you're welcome.
Do we want to introduce the rest of us real briefly as well? Just so Karen knows who she's in the room with.
Oh, I'm Richard Noel. I'm from Highgate. I ran my own farm for 45 years.
Wow.
I've been farming most of my life.
And apparently I knew him as a child.
Yes.
Really? Yeah.
Well, as a younger man.
I was a child.
There you go. Her father owned a garage and I worked for a parts company right in St. Albans.
Oh, wait.
As soon as he said that Russell, I says, to the left, not far from the Holy Angels. I said, yeah. Then we
Yeah.
hit the old dealership. And
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your mother? What was her name?
Martell. They were farmers too from Albert.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Myself, no.
Hello,
How are you?
good.
This is Molly Magnet.
We've met before.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
You're actually right on time. We're going this way for introductions.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dan, you're next.
Dan Pipes. I've got some land in Fairfield. And I've been active with, NRCD and NSCS, whatever programs are available.
Yeah.
Invasive and wildlife management, things like that.
Nice.
I was in the Army for 30 years
Wow.
and, I'm retired and enjoying it enormously.
Nice.
I'm Molly Magnum. I have been on board 7 years, I believe. And I teach at BFA. You and I collaborated on a project with the Rotary down on Stevens Brook.
Yeah,
Pulled knotweed and planted some native trees.
he did. Yep, I remember that.
So
Fun. Where?
by the town garage. By the
Okay.
baseball field.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a ton of knotweed. Probably
There
still
still
is.
is.
Yeah.
We didn't quite,
about
we
that
didn't
stuff.
quite do it.
Yeah.
And I'm a farmer, I guess. That's my other role.
Nice.
You are a farmer.
Anyway.
Walter, we're doing a quick round of introductions, just so you know.
Good.
Carrie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Carrie. I'm a natural resources planner. And yeah, we did our Streamwise walk
Yep.
together. And you all will be learning more about what I do, for the, connections with staff.
Arena Brand. I am the community engagement specialist at the district and I participate in these meetings to take minutes.
Nice.
And I think we spoke on the phone about the tree sale once,
Yeah, we
maybe
probably,
about the
yeah.
location. Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried to find you another location.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, we found something. So.
good.
Linda, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Linda Ulrich. I have a 170-acre farm that's still I'm not personally farming, but my neighbor does, organic farmer Mike Menard in Fairfield, and I'm very, very interested in this concept of finding a balance between preserving forests and keeping agriculture alive, and then people like me who are, aren't doing either, but want to keep it pristine and nice and ecologically improving for their families. So that forest family farm thing is kind of my interest. I was a dentist in St. Albans for 37 years and recently retired. And and my neighbor is Dan Pipes there. And we go back and forth getting each other on board.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah.
Vicky, if you will.
Yeah, just Karen, I think you know my background, but just in case you don't, so I spent 38 years with USDA, in what used to be called the Soil Conservation Service and then later became the Natural Resources Conservation Service. And joined the board about a year after I retired in 2021 as the state director here in Vermont. So overseeing, $30 million budget and 11 offices and 75 staff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and plus actually another 25 through partner agreements. But anyway, I've been passionate about conservation my whole life and through my job, and have a background in soils and crop science, and just love. I'm out in Welton, Arizona, and it is the leafy greens capital of the world this time of year in the winter. And last night was up geeking out over, believe it or not, crop dusters. I mean, it sounds awful, but I don't know what they're spraying. It could be completely organic stuff because there's a lot of organic fields around here. But we were awakened at like 2:30 in the middle of the night. The crop dusters just like careening down the fields and straight up the bluff where my parents, my mom's house and my sister's house live on, is like adjacent to this huge agricultural valley along the Gila River. And it's just so fascinating, the different kinds of agriculture there is out here and what they're doing. And I'm a total ag geek. So anyway, And in my former job, I was known as the shit queen because we did all the work on dairy farms, you know, so and a lot of other work. So anyhow, welcome Karen and Walter too. So good to see you again.
You too.
I'm Lauren Weston. I manage the district, going on 5 years in January, if you can believe it or not. Yeah. Nuts. And then Walter, do you mind introducing yourself as well?
Yes, I'll be quick. My name is Walter. I live in Enosburg. I'm a builder, but I have some experience in environmental education and a little bit of like small landowner level forest management. So I've kind of just been sitting in on meetings with an interest in maybe one day being a part of the board, but just wanting to learn more about what the NRCD does.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so our official voting members are Richard, Dan, Molly, Linda, and Vicky. And then Walter's exploring associate supervisorship. And I think probably in a similar boat as you. So thanks everybody for being here today. What a great turnout. This is great. The one person we don't have here is Sarah Rose, who is the district conservationist for the USDA NRCS, and she usually joins our meetings to give us kind of the federal perspective. She's also Richard's daughter. So small town. She didn't send me any updates today, but obviously the federal government is back on again. I know that they have a new staff person in their office, who's a program assistant. I've heard good things. It seems like they haven't lost anybody over the 6-week period, so that's also exciting, unless Richard, you've heard anything else
I thought they had lost somebody.
before
right
then?
From the beginning, at the beginning,
Beginning,
but nobody more during the,
I know they had a bunch of retirements.
yeah.
A lot of people just said, yeah,
yeah,
done,
time to bail out.
right.
But I could be wrong. It is my understanding that since beginning of this year, 50% of NRCS staff in Vermont have left or been fired. So they're operating at about 50% capacity across the state right now. Our office in St. Albans, been okay-ish. I think the Middlebury office lost 10 people. So,
Wow.
yeah.
You payments slowed down. I'm payments from the NRCS.
Yes,
I
they couldn't process a single one. Yeah.
Right. I'm like,
That's not mine.
Yeah,
man, I've been like, that's
They-
unusual. Normally they have another, I assumed it was the shutdown.
But unfortunately, and I don't know when the government will, they probably won't. Almost 80% of the agricultural department's funds are for SNAP. They should just, I'm not saying, I'm not condemning SNAP, should be away from the agricultural department.
sure.
Because they shut down the ag department, which is the conservation end, and because there was a fight on why that should stay in business. So if it's on its own page, it wouldn't affect the agricultural department.
Right. Yeah, so it is my understanding, they all started back up, I guess, a week ago now. And their directive was to get payments out to producers as the first step, once systems were working again, and then kind of everything else. So that's my understanding of the situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just in time for taxes, probably.
Probably.
Seen that happen.
Yeah.
Mandate, put it out before the first of the year.
So, but otherwise, I think they're figuring stuff out. I know all the dates are changing for kind of their internal deadlines, and they're planning to share that with partners around December 1st. I don't know when that's gonna get publicized though, but all their dates are gonna change. That's all I've got for an NRCS update. Richard and Vicky. VACD and NRCC updates?
Yeah, a little bit. I had the NRCC council meeting, the 13th, and that was just a phone. Because we're linking up different now. We're not using Zoom.
Oh, no?
Another link
Richard?
up.
You might want to
Yeah.
back up and just explain who NRCC is.
And
I'm happy to. So
Natural Resources Conservation
council,
Council. But I've had this
Established by
problem.
state law.
Established by state law, it's convoluted, and I'll just say it, keep saying it, there's too many goddamn committees. One finger, arm is hanging over the other, we don't know if it's the left or the right, we're deciphering it. And, Michelle has worked on getting funding, well, that's another thing down on my list here to explain,
so I can do a quick
yeah.
big picture. So there's NRCC and there's VACD. NRCC was established by Vermont state government as a agency of the state.
Right.
To oversee the conservation districts, the NRCDs. And then VACD also formed as a nonprofit to be able to lobby and fundraise and also support districts in a lot of ways, but has no regulatory authority. There's kind of these two entities. The current executive director of VACD is Michelle Monroe. Might be a familiar name to you. She's from St. Albans.
That's the messenger.
Yeah, she worked at the
She was a
Messenger.
reporter at one time.
And then supervisors from different districts serve on both boards
Okay.
in different capacities, or just on our board. There's a whole map I can show you,
Yeah.
but it is a little, I'll use Richard's words, it's a little convoluted, to say the least, and funding flows through both, and it's a little mixed up at this time.
But the ACD is a nonprofit.
Yes,
It's a 501c3
yes.
and it's formed for raising money.
It's formed in some ways for raising money and to be able to lobby,
Okay.
which NRCC as a state agency cannot.
Connects the conservation districts to the National Association of Conservation Districts. So there's a NACD as well, Karen. National
Okay.
Association, there's annual meetings at the national level. So there's roughly 3,000 conservation districts nationwide. And they were established back in the late 1930s and early 1940s through enabling legislation that the forefather of the Soil Conservation Service, when that agency was started in 1935, it was painfully obvious that the federal government was not going to be successful riding into town on their white horse telling these local farmers what to do. And so Hugh Hammond Bennett, the forefather of the agency, came up with this idea of establishing local conservation districts to advise the federal officials on conservation needs in their community, and hence the formation of conservation districts nationwide.
Nice.
It's a very just amazing model for how the federal government should and could operate across many agencies, but we're one of the very few that operates with this local advisory board. Not as much influence now as there used to be back in 1985, 1990 when I started, which all of the work I did out in the field was basically directed by the local districts. Recent farm bills have transferred a lot of both money and responsibility to NRCS so that they have less discretionary funding, less discretionary work. So most of it now, in fact, the current administration is trying to eliminate all of the discretionary funding to NRCS, which would disallow anything outside of the Farm Bill programs from being worked on. So
Thank you.
anyhow, a little bit of history there. Yeah.
So Richard is our representative to the NRCC and Vicky is our representative to the VACD.
Oh, okay.
I'm also on the I'm on the finance committee too.
Yes, for the
Nice.
NRCC.
Those two things I understand. I just know that Vicky could explain it better than I can. But anyway, we had that, the district report we just put in.
Yes,
I guess they're gonna be every 4 months, we'll have to do those.
okay,
So when I get, or you'll get the info one way or the other, then we present it. Of the 14 counties, I don't know who the other county was, there's only 2 of us that got it on time.
2 supervisory unions got it on time, so technically
Okay,
3 counties were represented by you.
All right,
Yes,
all right,
but yes, it was still not a great showing
Mhm.
from others.
but we made the cut.
Yes.
Willie Nickerson is the new chairman of council, and he's from Caledonia. Then yesterday I had a finance committee meeting. And it was underneath that new link I was telling you about. It's not Zoom, I think it's called New Link. Anyway, we had, Rick is going to continue, Rick Hopkins is going to continue, chairman of the finance committee.
Okay.
So he's gonna stay on that. And, he also attended, something in Fort Worth or the NASC, must be,
NASCA.
yeah, NASCA.
Do you know what that one stands for off the top of your head, Vicky?
Yeah, National Association of State Conservation Agencies. So
Yeah.
that's the complementary to VACD. It's when so in many states, the conservation districts are funded through the state to local county governments, like in New York, and the state and the conservation districts get significantly more state and local funding than what our Vermont districts do. So there's NACD, which is the National Association of Conservation Districts that can lobby and do all that work with Congress. And then there's NASCA, which is basically the State Association of Conservation Agencies like NRCC here in Vermont. They're not as active as NACD, but maybe they're moving in a more active direction.
Rick, of course, he represented Vermont, and there was another rep from Connecticut, so there were what I call New England, New York over. But I believe the government thinks New England goes all the way down to Virginia. But anyway, that he attended, and the other part, again, that I can't explain very well, is that Ag CWIP is going to be moving from council to VACD.
Huh.
Yeah. VACD will hold the agreement with council. Anyway,
That's news to me.
yeah. Emily Newmer
Yeah,
will probably be
know
able to
that.
explain it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or I can say, well, Emily and Michelle,
Okay.
yeah. There's a move there on how to direct the funds.
Okay.
It's changing a bit, but it's not, from what I can understand, it's in our benefit.
Okay. That sounds great.
But my understanding of this stuff, I gotta talk to Vicky to figure it out.
I'll follow up with them and try to get some clarity on
I
what's
just give you
going on
that
there.
heads up, and you can check with Michelle and Emily
Okay.
on that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's another thing that was brought up about the credit cards. Are we hooked up with Ramp?
We are not on ramp.
Okay. What I liked about what Michelle described is that an individual isn't tagged into getting that card, which to me, that's the way it should be. But some of us have had to back these as an individual, and we shouldn't. And this ramp, credit card ramp, which Michelle knows more about, to me is the way to go,
Okay.
Yeah.
We can look into that.
because it relieves the possibility that something can bounce back as us as individuals, because we backed
Right.
the card to get you the card in the first place.
Right. Yeah. So at this point in time, we do have district credit cards, but they're actually under Vicky's social security number officially.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
yee.
we will look into that.
yeah. That's where I was
Just because
thinking.
I'm the treasurer, Karen. Oh,
Yeah.
joy.
I was thinking of
Sounds
you when
risky
she
to me.
mentioned this credit card ramp.
Yeah.
I said, this would be a better situation
Okay.
definitely for Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely take a look at it. Very soon we can ask structural integrity, our accounting person, about that as well. Thank you, Richard. Vicky.
So quickly, there wasn't, I participated remotely in the annual meeting that was held on November 6th, I believe. And for VACD, and unfortunately was reelected treasurer for VACD as well. Nobody else stepped forward. I did not nominate myself this year. I was really hoping somebody else would come forward with a nomination. But I also didn't say no, so it's on me, I guess. So, yeah, and I don't know, Richard, you were there, you and Lauren were there for the rest of the meeting, how that went. The business meeting went well. I felt like the dues there's a lot of discussion about dues and when they're gonna be due, and I'm assuming, so we pay state dues to VACD. Lauren, have we paid 2026 yet or just 2025?
Just 2025. They actually haven't issued the invoices for 2026 yet.
Okay. And then also some discussion about uh, how districts should approach the state house and lobbying and working in line with VACD to do that, and appropriate role for districts versus VACD. And I think there was a third resolution anyway. The minutes hopefully are available online if anybody really wants to dig in and see what happened. But anyway, my perspective is that Michelle Monroe is doing a great job transitioning. Karen, we had a previous executive director that had been there for 14 years, I think. And so it's been a big change for VACD to transition with Michelle. So.
Nice.
Is this where they brought in a conversation of some districts wanting to do some in-kind work for payment of dues?
For payment of dues, yeah. And my
That's-
feeling on that is, Richard, that if it's arranged in advance, that's okay, but don't come back after the fact, after you've created and presented training and then say, well, we're going to use that in lieu of dues, which is what that one district did.
No.
So it should be a contractual agreement. If a conservation district is going to provide services to VACD, just like VACD does with the districts and has grant agreements, there should be an agreement back for those services and not mix it up with paying dues or not. I think they should be completely separate issues myself, so.
Correct. I agree.
And then Vicky also ran unopposed to retain her board seat on our board.
Oh, that was news to me. I didn't hear that, so.
Oh, it's in the agenda.
Okay, well, I thought it was talking about VACD. I didn't think it was talking about the local district, so
Gotcha.
I
Sorry,
guess
you
that's
also
good.
ran unopposed for us.
Good. I'm happy about that one, Lauren.
So board members serve 5-year terms.
Ah,
And so one person, we can only have 5 voting members and board members serve 5-year terms. So one person's up every year.
okay. Makes sense.
So if you become an associate, you could be involved in the discussion. It just that it takes a member to be able to do the vote.
Yep, got it.
Wonderful. I will also, so Vicky mentioned the VACD annual meeting. All 9 staff plus Richard attended in person and Vicky joined online, and it was a really great long day, but it was a really great day.
Yeah,
We all went to Montpelier and all the other 14 districts showed up as well, or 13,
That's neat.
other 13. It was really fun.
Good learning.
Yes. Arena, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Can you share the strategic plan?
Yes, of course I can.
So this is just a regular update on the strategic plan, which ends at the end of 2026. So we will be updating it in 2026 for the following 3 years. But we are supposed to do a check-in every May and November. So we're doing our November check-in.
It's taking a second to load here, folks.
That's okay.
Just a quick question, Karen, and you probably are more advanced with me than I am. As far as going in computers, doing Zoom meetings and things of that nature, you've probably done that.
I have,
Okay.
yeah.
I think I thought you would. I'm just inquiring, because I'm done. Once in a while, I'm the far. The one looking for the,
You do really well.
Yeah.
well,
Some other folks struggle through some stuff. You do really
I
well.
have my help. My wife helps me once in a while.
I'm sure she does.
She was in the federal government for
Yeah.
10 years or so.
It's an agreement for that mode, but.
In fact, as my wife and my daughter worked in the same office at the same time.
Oh, gosh. Well, I think they're making it easier too to connect.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
right,
Right.
yeah.
You rocked it at the legislative briefing. You did a great job. And Molly.
So Karen, are your interest in the organization, you're looking to
Make a difference in the community, see where I can help.
become a part of it?
Perhaps.
Here?
Yep. Yep.
Great.
I have like a couple of
But yeah.
presentations.
Yeah, you and
Okay,
I
okay.
met before.
We had.
Yeah,
we
as soon
had.
as you said you had land and NRCS grants, because I have a few too.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I remember.
I wasn't certain if there was some link that you were trying to pursue between the Rotary and the board, you know,
There might be,
NRCD or
Yeah.
or.
there might be
I
a
was just
link.
curious.
There might be a link there. There's something that we can work together on. Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, and we have the Rotary Interact Club too at
Mhm.
PFA, some 80 kids there, so
Mhm.
they might be of assistance at some volunteer events.
Great.
Yeah,
We're gonna leave it outside of presentation mode because it just turned my entire screen black when I attempted it.
since I mentioned being computer savvy.
Yes, you jinxed it.
I was a lister for a few years and we were doing something and I said, how come you don't, what do you do if you push this button? We don't know. So I hit it and I wiped everything out.
Oh, gosh.
I had to go back to the state, get all our information back, try to do it. So
Wow.
they learned and I learned, don't touch, don't.
Yeah.
Don't let Richard touch it.
Yeah.
Because Richard will try.
Again, coming back together. Strategic plan update. Can you go to slide 2? So just so you're aware of what our mission is, the Franklin County NRCD empowers and partners with land stewards and communities on the ground by supporting connections that benefit natural resources, water quality, soil health, and the working landscape in Franklin County and across northwestern Vermont. We also do work in Grand Isle County, and we partner a lot with Isle County, so we're all over this corner. Next.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's on it.
Yeah, and this document, the strategic plan, touches on where we've been in the past couple of years and where we're going in the future. So successes and strengths, and apologies for all of the text in this document. I would say the important things here are the graphs on the right, the charts, excuse me. So we're moving along and growing and accomplishing lots of things. In 2025, you can see our full-time employee number jumped pretty high.
Congratulations.
We're at,
Everything's good.
8.3, I think it is, and we're bringing another person on in January.
Wow.
So growing very fast. Our income also increased by a lot, up to above 1.2 million. We're applying for lots of grants and we're fairly successful with that.
They're
Right.
87% successful.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
We
That,
had 5 years ago, we had 2 employees.
I know, I
Above
can
and
see
beyond, I
that.
was trying to hold them back,
Yeah.
up to 9 anyway.
Yeah. Soon for 10.
And then the income, do you just wanna make sure that's revenue, that's not net income?
Yeah.
I just wanna make that really clear.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Gross. Yeah.
gross, yeah.
yeah,
It's still impressive.
It
It
is
is.
still very impressive. It shows why we need 9 staff in a lot of ways.
And in getting this staff build up, and Lauren knows it's my sticker point, she don't do it unless you got some funds to be able to fund it.
Yep.
Cause I don't, in my mind, I'm not gonna run a federal government program here where we're deficit, we're running this. We're gonna be level. And right now, we are above level, but we have this plan in mind of eventually getting our own office. So we do have some extra funds up and beyond, but once we get to that point, as long as we maintain, I'm fine, but right now.
How much of a surplus can you?
What an excellent question you have there. Some of our grants are task-based and deliverables-based. And so we
You have to spend it.
So not necessarily. Some of it we're allowed to have retained earnings on.
Okay.
Some grants, it's just cost
Okay.
reimbursed. So we are allowed to accrue funds as long as we're meeting our deliverables,
Okay.
which we're very good at. So, yes.
yeah. So to that point, with an increase in personnel, we also really increased the number of grants we wrote last year or this year. sorry, FY 25, so ending in June 2025.
Yep.
So we're up to 43 grant applications. The rate of success went down a little bit, which is due, I think, just to
More volume.
more volume, and also things are a little bit more chaotic at the funding agencies and organizations. So things are changing and we're trying to adjust to that.
We're also maybe applying for more grants that are new to us and are a bit creative, knowing that we might not get them, but we might learn some stuff in the process. So,
It's a good thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on here?
There's a lot of words on here. I'm happy to send this out as a file as well. I guess what I'll say.
So we have kind of three broad program areas: agriculture, natural resources, and community engagement. And we have staff devoted to each, and also staff that do all three things. A lot of us do all three things. And I would say in the past year, at least for this update, we've really increased our community engagement capacity and programming, specifically in the areas of legislative advocacy, which is somewhat new to us, and we're doing in partnership with VACD and at the direction of Michelle. And we're also increasing our municipal outreach. So really trying to develop projects working hand in hand with municipalities and making sure we're doing it driven by their priorities. We're also increasing our work in the forest and legal sectors.
For instance, a few months ago, we helped Swanton to develop a dry hydrant, to be able to emergencies pull water out of the river to load the fire tanks, and
Yeah.
it's right just this side of John's Bridge. But they had this issue, and we just did some coordination. Basically, the board did some coordination, and they did the work.
Nice. Did they come to you? Or did you guys hear about it?
Okay, go ahead. We have the dry hydrant program in our system.
Yes. Yeah, so the guy who runs the dry hydrant program for all of Vermont is technically an employee of VACD. And so there's some community connections there, and there's legislative funds directed just for the dry hydrant program. And so all of the connections and the community building, I think I'm not sure exactly what his process is on identifying the next one. I imagine there's some level of like priority from different towns, so to say. Yeah.
I would think a town doesn't have one, maybe I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I'm
anyway,
not sure either.
this one got directed in our direction, and like Lauren says, he's got that certain department under VACD, but they got to tag somebody that they know who can tag him.
Yeah.
It's good.
No major updates to the services offered, but we do a lot of things, supporting agricultural producers, doing lots of natural resources restoration projects, education and outreach, supporting towns and other organizations with grant applications, lots of connecting people to resources and programs, and we have our tree and trot sale, which you know about.
This board developed a what was that? What do you call that? Book.
Oh, the guide.
The guide.
I'm gonna grab one.
Yeah, that farmers or people interested in tree plantings or conservation, whatever, you could flip okay, this one, here's the agency you contact for this type of project. Here's the agency you contact for this type of project, and it's.
My goodness, I've shared it with neighbors and.
Yeah.
Put it
there.
in our.
I don't. I would love to go.
And now they're working on putting this out.
Into an app.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the app would be really
Yeah.
nice.
So they're going from this and
To an
developing an app.
A little heavy, isn't it?
There's a lot here.
Yeah.
There's a lot, they're right, there's a lot of places that it defines and it breaks it down
There you go.
on what you want to look into. And then this gives you a direction and to go. It's like a roadmap,
That's nice.
which was 5 years ago, it didn't have it.
Yeah.
Town clerk likes it, the farmers come into different reasons and they pick one up and then, it seems to work.
You know, direct them to the right department to talk to them.
Cause it's not online, it's.
Yeah.
painful for
But-
right there.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
people
you're-
like that.
Like
Yeah,
Amanda says, they're also working on an app.
yeah.
There's an app for this.
There will be, yeah.
There will be.
This is an overview of the internal and external themes of our strategic plan, which I will in the next slides go over. In terms of what was planned versus what actually happened, and I might ask you to kind of jump in when you can, because you have a better sense of how things have gone.
Yeah, been
Um,
here a little longer.
and there's a lot of text on the screen, so I think I'm just gonna touch on things that didn't happen or are happening on different timelines than we anticipated. So one of our goals internally was to improve our office space and increase our administrative systems, or sorry, improve our administrative systems. We last November moved from the NRCS office downtown to this building, and the hope is to potentially purchase land or a building. I think the original timeline was that would happen this year. It's looking like we're still talking about it and may happen next year. Anything to add to that?
It almost happened last year too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
one of those real estate things.
yeah.
Yeah, but I would say our systems are improving a lot. We're working on that a lot.
Yes, a lot. We build a lot of systems every day.
Income streams, especially with the instability at the federal level right now, we are really thinking about how we could pursue private funding in the future. I would say that hasn't happened directly this year, but we are thinking a lot about how we can tell our story. So I do see that happening in the next year. Managing staff with a balanced, engaging workload. I think this has happened, a lot of this has happened on time with what we thought our goals would be. Yeah, I don't know, this seems like it's gone well. Anything to add here?
It's remarkable. Looking
Yeah,
over.
we've really done a lot of work on our policies and our culture and our benefits.
Yes.
And we've had the same staff for the past 15 months,
Wow.
except for an intern who then we have now since hired. She's been
Nice.
here since May, and that has made all the difference in the world. It's very exciting. We did have a couple years of just investing a lot of time and then losing it, and then losing it. So,
With all of these systems, we have really been able to improve tracking our projects and projects that could potentially be developed. So I would say this is kind of happening on track. There is still succession planning for staff and board members. I think that has yet to happen. That was maybe supposed to happen this year, but and we have to continue creating SOPs. That's kind of like a never ending to-do list task. Yeah. I'd say we really rely on Lauren. She's kind of the brain of the organization. So getting her knowledge down on paper is definitely on the to-do list.
Nice.
making the systems make sense and then writing them down has been on the to-do list.
Well, there you go.
I'm like, oh, I actually don't want to tell anybody what I've been doing.
Can you speak to this slide? Because I actually don't know much about it.
Yeah, we really wanted to make sure that we were serving all of the farmers and everyone on the landscape. And so a lot of that has been just a deep amount of additional training and some work through community engagement planning of understanding what the gaps have been for maybe not just your traditional dairy farmer in Franklin County. And so we've been
Run the office.
spending a lot of time training and learning and figuring out how to create different things. We did just put in a grant application to help serve flower farmers. If we're able to get that funded, that'd be really fun to do some trainings that actually came out of the connection to Savannah Crossman that Dan provided.
The neighbor.
Savannah Crossman.
Yeah.
She has a nice place.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just down the road.
Yeah,
Very nice. people.
that's Heidi and,
Heidi and Andy's
Andy's.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nice people too.
yeah, they are.
Actually, Andy helped us make the strategic plan. He
Oh,
was our
nice.
consultant on the strategic plan.
Nice.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
Rotarian. Ian
Yes,
and
he had a
Heidi.
lot of experience with strategic planning in his career, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Logical fit to, hey, would you do
Yeah.
this? And,
Nice.
I will also add, our next strategic plan will be formatted a little differently, but this was our first ever strategic plan,
That's
so
good.
here's where we ended up.
What are you doing?
That part wasn't out, but
Same deal with natural resources projects, just trying to increase the types of projects that we do here and the land stewards that we're working with. And I think that has really happened. There's a lot of money at the state level right now to do projects that address water quality issues. So we've been fortunate to be very successful with the grants we apply for in this area. And I believe we're doing things we've never done before. Every day.
Every day. Every day.
We're also, there's a new kind of emphasis on project development grants that help us understand all the work that could potentially be done all over the county. And that's something that Carrie and I are working on and will help us be more strategic about the projects that we do in the future. That's a lot of work. That still has to happen, but it is happening. Can you talk about this a little bit more?
Yeah, so a lot of the projects for a while had funding to do the project and then to make sure that they still worked, was not well funded. And so we still wanted to make sure that we were committed to, we have a landowner, let us do a project on their land. We want to make sure it's successful.
Right.
And so that's what a lot of this focus is, hey, we're gonna come do this intervention. And that means we're in. That means we're here for the long haul. And that in one hand is very much just like going back to tree plantings and making sure
Oh,
things grow.
okay, yeah.
And then in some other hands, it's been going back to a dam removal site that has been facing a lot of erosion, and we're trying to figure out what to do from there. And it looks like we're gonna go back into design and have some adaptive management is what we're calling it.
Part of our wider community engagement strategy is not only being able to work with more people on the ground, but also to work better with the conservation partners in our network. And there are a lot of different watershed organizations and conservation groups in the area. You can see here the list of all the people we work with, all the orgs we work with, a lot of acronyms. But yeah, we have definitely been doing this. We have been increasing the use of farm teams, which is basically means we're coordinating all the partners who are working with one farm at a time, and have also been coordinating the regional water quality partnership group in our area, and very successful in this area.
We also coordinate all of the other partners in our watershed on a monthly basis and have a meeting with them to make sure we're all working towards the same goals and learning from each other.
Yeah, and continuing to increase our outreach systems and strategies. That has also been a part of my work and our community engagement planning. So yeah, just building systems for making sure we're hosting events accessibly and doing effective outreach, because it's like there's, it's very important the work that we're doing that we know about, but we also think it's increasingly important that others know about our work so that they can support us and work with us. Yeah.
And that's our current strategic plan update. We're on track. We still got some work to do in 2026, but I think we're doing good. Hopefully you agree.
Lauren, what would you say are the big ticket items we still need to tackle?
I think the big ticket item is figuring out what we're about to do with this building, or not.
Yeah,
I think in terms of community engagement and being really strategic about how we're growing, we actually have really tangible next steps of how we're trying to coalesce a lot of disparate work we've been working on to try to get all of the information in one place to really be able to identify gaps and where we want to go next. And so I think that'll be a really big plan of our next strategic plan. We kind of have been deep in those meetings this week.
So that's an admirable external focus. I would suggest that internally, since you're stabilizing your team, you may want to consider cross training and really be deliberate about you're out for whatever reason.
Yes.
You're out for a month. Who takes over for you, and then who does that person's job? And does everyone
Yep.
understand at least the rough outlines of what that means?
Right.
And I'm not saying you haven't done that, but I think that would be an internal,
Yes.
perhaps, area for improvement that you could strive towards.
Yes, I think we've done a decent job of doing that across all staff but me. And I'm very aware of that.
Well, if you know that, then
Right.
you can fix it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say for the past year, I've had like write down what I do and what my scope of work is. And I do think there's a piece of it that's been, well, this system makes no sense. Let's fix the system and then write it down.
Right, right.
And we're very close to that. And Rena has learned a lot about QuickBooks Online and our finances and how they can be confusing. And so it's been great.
I wasn't certain how helpful this would be, this plan, but it appears to really have been useful.
Yes,
So,
I would very much agree.
yeah,
Yeah. I do think continuing to narrow in on the strategic to address community needs is something where we're still putting in some work, but I do think it's really informed what we've done internally and how we've approached organizational growth.
most people ignore their strategic, they're like, ah, great, we got that done. Let's do what we really need to do. So that's. Yeah. awesome.
Yeah.
You guys were kind of dissing how it was structured, but I could see it like maybe not as presenting, maybe not ideal for presenting to a group of people like what you guys actually do, but like as a reference point, just going back and being like, okay, we're working on this one thing. Where are we going? Where are we aiming to go with that? It seems like a pretty sick, like effective and robust document. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'll just throw something in there. You know, we made a strategic plan every single year, and eventually I learned that just as soon as you get real focused and fixated on outcomes, you marry outcomes and things, the world throws something at you like the shutdown or the president who isn't supporting your programs anymore or whatever. So I say that we always have a strategic plan, of course, but that we feel like we are putting measures in place so we're always nimble. Whether that's our finances or the commitments we're making to others. It's just a topsy-turvy world, and strategic planning, I don't think it's even useful for more than about a year anymore. I mean, it's nice to like have long-term goals, but if you marry them, you make a lot of odd decisions when new stuff starts coming at you. So that's just my 2 cents on strategic planning.
Yeah, I think the timeline piece has been interesting and being able to be flexible when we're doing what, but I think having the overall, I think a lot of these themes will come up in the next strategic plan too, and just how we approach them will probably change a bit. Wonderful. Thanks for doing that update, Rena. Our next item is buildings and land update. More of the story is I don't have one. Richard had sent over a house that's actually next to the manor in Highgate, and I had reached out to them.
Yeah, I have too.
And I did get a call back,
Oh, you did?
and then I've called them back, and I haven't gotten another call back.
Yeah.
So, and I do know Emily Norris, the realtor, also tried reaching out to them, and she also hasn't heard back. So,
'Cause it's not real estate, it's private.
right, it's a private sale.
Yeah, it's a little quirky.
Yeah,
It's a single woman that lives in that house and,
yeah.
yeah.
Is this the same one that was being discussed?
No.
This is a
no,
new,
no,
this is an
one
additional new one.
Next to the Highgate Manor.
Okay.
And it's a privately owned, it's about 3.5 acres. There's quite a bit of buildings to it, but they'd have to be all redone. You're looking probably at 250-300,000 in the buildings, but you have
Yeah.
water, sewer, right on road and some land.
Parking, presumably.
Yeah, you can, part of it's a little metal, but it could be parking. And there's outbuildings.
But
Well, they're not outbuildings, I call them that, but they're all connected. The old style, here's the house, and you go back to the shed and you end up in the garage.
Little house barn, little house barn.
So
But
this is
anyway.
this is a private sale?
Yeah,
It's for sale by owner, it's a FSBO,
Mhm.
and nobody seems to have to get in touch with her.
right.
Yeah.
And it's on,
sold on
it's
Facebook
on Marketplace,
Marketplace.
yeah.
So,
Does anyone know her?
I know her a little bit, I know the family. I'd have to contact her personally, I guess.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's the Rouse family in Highgate, that's Debbie Rouse's, but
so
anyway,
we're still kind of looking into that. other updates, nothing else has really happened in the past month. I was out for 2 weeks in the end of
Oh.
October with tonsil surgery, so,
Oh, no.
still catching up from that in a lot of ways.
What was the
But I
price
can-
on that one, Richard, that you were talking about?
250.
250?
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Is it like the building, are they pretty much tear down or?
No, I think it's more like gut and rebuild.
The bones are solid and.
Well,
everything else.
that would be further investigation.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay.
right. Let's see if it's in that. If it's even, if you tear, if you got it, the bones fall down too.
Right.
It's just preliminary. It's for sale. I saw it there. That's a
Great.
little bit of land.
Was there a conclusion on the Graves farm? Did you ever find out anything about that?
I didn't.
Mark still, yes,
Okay,
where you were standing on it, is that,
Lauren, did you
Me-
ever send me a map of where that's at? I'll contact Julia now that the government's back open.
can you write that down
But about
for the Graves farm?
I'll contact Julia. I missed the opportunity before October 1st.
Sure.
But do it now.
Yeah,
it's not for sale, but we own it. Right? And then it's
Beautiful.
But
yeah,
Julia can look up whether or not the easement allows for any kind of subdivision of the house and
okay. Yeah, yep, I
like it, yeah.
love that.
Rich.
In the soul.
And the Soul House is not, they went with someone else. We never even put in a formal offer.
Did they sell?
But that's not sold yet.
I don't think it's sold yet, but, I guess they're pursuing it with somebody else.
The sign is out, the sign is still out front.
Bigger offer.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's the Soul House in Fairfield.
But it's been.
No.
Yes.
And we have cash?
Oh, that.
We have access to a municipal loan.
Oh, okay,
And we do have some cash.
okay.
That'll actually be part of this meeting. I know at one point you had mentioned you had to do the board meeting.
Oh, I switch it to Tuesday.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of, I haven't followed up. I will. Rotating staff presentation,
That's neat.
Miss Brosnan.
Mhm.
I'm gonna toss up your slides.
I think it's okay, yeah. Thank you. So,
We've been doing, we were having a lot of very business heavy board meetings that weren't necessarily the best way to make sure we were connecting what we were doing on the ground with what our
Yeah.
board is aware of. So one of the ways we're addressing that, and also who was on our staff. And so also now we do, every month, there's a different staff member
Who presents?
who presents. And, been hearing rave reviews, so we're continuing that, if Zoom agrees.
it's okay if it's just us two.
Okay. I was like, Randy's coming to fix this. Your IT friend,
What,
Randy?
was Mike? Oh, Randy.
Yeah.
Oh,
He-
Green Mountain Pete.
Yeah, he came for 3 hours last week to help work out
He's good.
stuff. He's real good and he's
He's-
nice.
And you can trust him.
Yeah,
He
and he
is,
charges very reasonable
he
rates.
is, yeah, he was, we worked together years ago with some Africa stuff and some Balkan stuff, and
Sure.
he's all aces.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, he fixed several of our computers with some malware and it was great.
I have a back door on my laptop that he can access, and only he, and if I have a problem, I call him up, I've got his private cell, and I go, Randy,
So fun.
fix. He's like, ah. And that's it, yeah, he's really, and I trust him,
Yeah,
which is a lot. for
yeah.
Computer stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear what Carrie has to.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Carrie. I am a natural resources planner. I started as an Eco AmeriCorps back in 2023. And I was in AmeriCorps for a year. And then I got hired on after that, which was lovely. And last winter I took a little hiatus and traveled around the world, which was incredible. And then it was a really meaningful and powerful trip because it just showed me how much I love working in Vermont and how important the work that we do here is. So I came back ready to go.
She did.
And I jumped right back into it, and it's been great. I grew up on Long Island, in Carl Place, a small town, and I found out about a little state called Vermont in my senior year of high school and was very intrigued. So I decided to go to UVM and I studied environmental science and natural resources and geography, all of the different things. After going to UVM, I did a couple of different AmeriCorps programs with North Branch Nature Center in Montpelier. I did an internship with the Vermont Natural Resources Council, which is like an organization that works a lot in the legislature. And then I did my Eco AmeriCorps here, which was so great.
I wouldn't let her leave.
Yeah. So what do I work on at the district now? I've been involved in a lot of the educational programming and community engagement. Some examples are the fishing festival that we hold in Enosburg, Streamwise, Lakewise, and stormwater consultations, wildlife habitat consultations, as well as school presentations and field trips. I also did a lot of work this year on tree and field work, like tree plantings and field work. And a lot of tree stewardship this summer. I worked a lot with the interns that we had this summer, and we were out and about all throughout Franklin County maintaining the trees that we planted in the spring and in previous years as well. So that was really fun. Yeah. And then I'm also learning a lot about and getting more involved in the nitty-gritty of the natural resources projects, like some floodplain lowering, stream restorations, dam removals, game camera setups, and been helping Mel with some macro invertebrate ID. This week in particular, I did a stormwater consultation with somebody right across the way behind Market 32. They are having a lot of flooding in their yard, and we discovered it is due to tile drainage. Their property was very recently converted from farm to development. And the developer totally just like chopped off a tile drain and then didn't cap it or redirect it or anything. So that's been interesting. We're offering as much.
We figured it out. We figured it out on aerial maps. You can like see very clearly where it had been. It's like this one tile in this one field, and it's like exactly the point
It's exactly where the house
where
is.
they were
Yep.
having the issue. And we're like, well, good thing we know about what tile drainage is.
Yep, totally.
Really mesh natural resources and ag. It was really
Yes.
cool. It was
Yeah.
a proud moment.
Yep. Yeah, the landowner is very, very happy that we've been able to help like solve the problem. And the water is truly like bubbling up from the ground. So it's like there's like a sprout coming out from the ground of water.
Well, it
So,
all
yeah.
depends on how many acres are being drained through that tile,
I think a lot.
and then it will surface.
Yeah.
So we've identified the problem and hopefully with some action steps, we directed them to like reach out to some other folks who can actually like excavate around the area and like redirect it, remove it, something like that.
Can't
So,
remove it.
Redirect it.
Redirect it.
Yeah.
redirect, cap it,
'Cause
maybe.
No. it'll
Nope,
fall.
redirect.
You've got pressure from the field coming down to that, you're gonna have to redirect it.
Okay,
Take
good.
it from.
I'll let him know. And we held a legislative briefing this past Tuesday. I helped, Arena and I coordinated that effort. We had 5 to 8 legislators there who were very supportive, which was really nice to hear, and encouraged us to keep reaching out. So I feel like it was a great legislative briefing, very successful, and we not only like we're speaking to the legislators and offering them some like guidance on what the conservation districts do, but also learned a little bit about the legislators and how they work as well.
And one point was brought up and now you guys know, is keep them informed.
Yeah,
And maybe petty, you might think, but if they're informed, they're in the loop now.
yeah,
They're understanding more than just 3-4 years ago. 3 years ago, they didn't even know who we were.
Right.
yeah, they
Yeah.
encouraged us to keep bugging them.
Yes. And one of the senator he's on the appropriations committee
Mhm.
and he's a Franklin County person and he's got relatives that farm it, so
Yeah.
all helps.
Yeah. And we held some workshops for maple producers, so I've just been, we held 3 of them, which was part of our grant, and so I'm finishing up checking off the deliverables for that.
What can you tell me about the frog on the flame? I
Oh,
just have to ask.
yes, okay, so this is during the summer, during our tree stewardship at, Garland Park. There were so many gray tree frogs.
That's what that is.
This is a gray tree frog.
That's free.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so,
Blend in with a little bit of what they're sitting on.
Right.
yeah, I know, it is unique. I've seen more like brown,
Yeah.
gray
Yeah.
colored ones, but yeah, this guy was green. And I love that like Vermont has a tree frog. I think it's so cool. So, very exciting. I was so happy. I've also been working on a Montgomery flood resilience project, project development. So we did a big flood resilience study in Montgomery, and now we're just taking the next steps, in what are some realistic projects to move forward right now? What steps would the people in town want to move a little bit more slowly on, and develop a little bit more slowly? So reaching out to landowners with potential projects on their property and organizing site visits is what I've been up to. Lastly, I have been working on a Missisquoi Bay Partners story map. So we hold monthly meetings with the Missisquoi Bay Partners, which is a whole bunch of different organizations that work in the watershed. It's very much like resource sharing, coordinating efforts, all that good stuff. And we want a good way to kind of organize ourselves as partners, and create a kind of narrative that we can share with funders about how strong our partnership is in this region. Yeah. A project, so I have 2 project highlights that are more from this summer. But they're 2 projects that I'm particularly proud of. So we held the 3rd annual fishing festival in Enosburg. This was the 2nd year that I was coordinating the fishing festival. The first year, we had so many great partners show up. We had so many great activities and tabling offerings. But it was a rainy day and we didn't have many participants show up. So I was bummed and I was determined to get us some
Captive audience.
captive audience. So with the help of Lauren, I reached out to some after school and summer camp programs. And then this year in July, we held the Missisquoi Fishing Festival in partnership with a summer camp. And we had 80 to 100 students come to the fishing festival. The summer camp is very involved in fishing to begin with. So it was really cool to connect this group of students who already like love fishing to partners where maybe they could envision like, oh, this is cool. I could maybe do that as a job and still be connected to my hobby. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of like, we were providing education to students and just letting them see some professions that they could potentially pursue.
Where is it held in this room?
It's a funny location.
You know, you're driving into Enosburg from St. Albans.
Yeah.
And there's the first gas station
Big gas.
Yeah.
on the left, and then
Yeah.
there's like this pull off before the water treatment.
Yep.
It's that pull off that has a little gate in front of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
next to the water
No
treatment.
kidding.
Yeah, we get permission from the fire departments, both the village and the town. And that one the hard way, we only got one of them one year. He came and showed up and said, no. So, yeah, and then we kind of just set tents around the edge of that little field.
Cool, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause there is definitely like a summer camp that I see when I drive into town on 108. That's like always on the bridge, like
Yes.
fishing. Is that the
That
same?
was the summer camp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, and so we are thinking for if we get funding for a fishing festival. This upcoming summer, we're thinking about a new location where we might actually be able to catch some fish.
Yes, we have not been very
Yeah.
successful. Even we did it one year, like a day after they stocked the river,
Yeah.
and we still didn't catch anything.
Yeah.
Do you guys
So-
pull like macro invertebrates and stuff to
Yes.
look at beforehand?
We also have US Fish and Wildlife there and they do some electrofishing, so it's cool that they have them.
Did they not even catch anything?
No, they
They-
did.
they got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
With electricity, you can catch things.
Yeah. And then another project highlight is the tree planting at Garland Park. This is in Fairfax and we planted a whole bunch of trees at Garland Park. It is a town-owned property recently donated to the town through some partnerships with Vermont Land Trust and the town. We were tasked with increasing the riparian buffer to 35 to 50 feet. And we do a lot of tree plantings, as you all know. And we have been thinking about how can we make our tree plantings more successful. So we did a couple of experiments at Garland Park. We have one plot of trees that have tree tubes around them to prevent deer and vole and beavers from eating the trees. The second plot, we have just like wooden stakes next to the trees that we planted in hopes that that will help us find the trees for stewardship. Because a big part of successful tree plantings is going back, maintaining them, making sure there's not vines strangling the trees and stuff like that. So with wooden stakes next to the trees, we figured it would be easier to find them. And it was, after this summer of stewardship, it has been really helpful to have the stakes next to them. And then we had a third control plot that didn't have tree tubes or stakes. And yeah, we will be continuing to collect data at this site. And it's a really cool site. That's where the frog picture is. We found a turtle at this site.
Was
So
that the turtle?
that is our friend.
That's a snapping turtle,
Oh, cool.
but it's not an ugly one.
No.
No, I mean, there's snapping turtles that you poke a stick at them, he'll bite. But if you get an alligator snapping turtle, they have little bumps on top of their shell. You don't get close to them, they'll snap you,
Yeah,
and they can break a finger right off.
they're powerful. But yeah, it's been cool to see all the wildlife at this site in particular and being able to help contribute to making the habitat really nice.
I would say Carrie also held her cool very well when some neighbors had taken their ATVs through our tree planting.
Oh,
And
Thank
she
you.
went back with the two boys the father came forward to the St. Albans rec department, or not St. Albans, to the rec department and said, it was my boys, what can we do to fix this? And she went out and she replanted trees with them.
Yeah,
How old were they?
they were, I think, in 5th or 6th grade. Yep, so they were
Yes.
young. And it was a really fun afternoon. Yeah, they were like definitely were like nervous as we started and they felt really bad. They apologized. And then it was nice that by the end of the afternoon, we were laughing and they were teaching me about their favorite parts of the park. So I kind of encouraged them to like take the trees like as their own and like they play on this landscape every day and hopefully they can like take some ownership of the
That's
tree
great.
that we planted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Good
yeah.
parenting.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's it.
these are great.
Yep. So that's all for me.
And this is at your house.
Yeah.
It
and
sure is.
Yeah,
That was one of
Oh,
like,
it is, yeah.
yeah.
one of my first days out on the field. In the field.
That planning has come in very well, and the beavers haven't come back there, so
Ooh,
fingers crossed, they'll.
we'll let the trees grow a little bit longer.
Yeah.
before they can take
What's
it
the species of tree planted?
at his.
Gosh.
We did a lot of willows.
Some alders.
Yeah.
And that's their, some of their favorite
Oh, yeah,
alders.
Yeah,
Do you think there were dogwoods there?
probably.
There were.
Yes, because we had actually,
Yeah.
we had harvested from Ron,
Yes.
his neighbor who owned part of this parcel too, also had another
The other
parcel.
Side of this thing.
Yeah, had a parcel where they had a bunch of alders, willows, and dogwoods that were growing there, and so we harvested live stakes from those plants and actually just moved them over here.
Yeah, they will.
Now that my memory is coming back, that feels so long ago.
Was it beaver infested before?
Well, there was a bridge there, an old bridge.
There's a
that
bridge
was
right
been
across
constricting
here.
the stream.
Uh-huh.
And so they removed that, and there were beavers above and below the bridge earlier that had actually caused the bridge on Dead Creek to wash out 3 or 4, 5 years ago now. So yeah, they were a real problem, making huge beaver dams. I mean, it was great, but one of them let go and it just took the whole, yeah. So yes, and they'll be back. They'll just be doing what they do, you know.
Carrie is also a avid birder.
Yes.
She is our birder, our resident birder. Teaches the youth and the adults and all of us.
Yes.
And Vicky says, "Nice job, Carrie."
Thank you.
And she's almost always smiling unless there's traffic.
Yep. Or freezing, snow,
She'll
rain.
just like the cold.
Mm,
Thanks, Carrie.
Thank you.
Any questions for Carrie?
Sounds good.
Good.
Mhm.
Good job.
Carrie, I have a question. What's your
Yes.
favorite day? Describe a perfect day for you at work.
Ooh,
April
it's a good
25th.
question. Yeah. I would say it is kind of similar to a day that I had this week, actually. We had our team fun Friday, so it was really fun getting to like have a full staff day with us all in the office, learning together, and then also just being able to, hang out, and have fun time together. And then after that, I did a site visit, so I was able to go outside on the very sunny, but crisp day. And I went to that stormwater site visit. I was able to talk to the landowner and kind of do some investigating and problem solving, which I really liked. So definitely having that combination of like being outside, having like meaningful community engagement, as well as having just a good time with our amazing staff that we have. Yeah.
We did a field trip to the St. Albans Historical Museum, specifically into the agriculture room. And it was just a deep learning hour and a half of what are the resources here, what can we learn from it, how can we contextualize our work. And it was really, really cool. There was a bunch of stuff about maple in there too. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah, it was very cool. We did some reading on the field days as well, the history of the field days, and we read about the giant pancake flip. I don't know if anybody knows that.
They mixed it with cement mixer.
Yep. They
Brandon-
flipped it with a
with a
helicopter.
Brandon truck.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Take a lot.
Thank you.
Yes, it did.
What, sorry, one more question. You were talking about like a maple sugaring program where you're doing and like education for them. What was that about? What was that?
Yeah, so we, through a grant through the Lake Champlain Basin Program, we, are offering some various maple education programming. One section of that is doing field trips with schools, to sugar bushes, and also trying to do a little bit more unique, maple education that ties in like the natural resources, like thinking about water quality and also like stand density, things like that. And then we also held 3 workshops for maple producers. So we did a woods walk in Richford. Where we talked about like carbon cycling, as well as bird-friendly maple, because the maple producer that we were at is involved in that program. We did a webinar about economic viability and different programs available through UVM Extension and VHCB, Vermont Housing and Conservation Board. And then we also held a panel at the VACD annual meeting where we had some maple experts talking about maple. Yeah.
There will also be maple site visits too. It's the
Yeah.
third part of that grant.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go out to some maple producers' property and again talk about like water quality. We have a skidder bridge program, so we'll share that information with them.
All right, moving right along, we need approval of October 9th board meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve them as submitted.
We have a second to that,
I'll second that.
first by Dan, seconded by Linda. All in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Motion carried. Finances.
Vicky and I did meet yesterday to go over some of the finances. At that meeting, I did mention to Vicky that there was something wonky that we were trying to fix. That had been brought to my attention by the accountant. It doesn't change any of the totals. It just changed like which bucket something was in, but doesn't change any of the information I sent you. But I wasn't totally sure when Vicky and I talked yesterday, but I talked to the accountant today and that's all fine. So I just wanted to close that loop with you, Vicky. Vicky's our treasurer also.
yeah,
And so this is as of November 14th. We had $213,000 in our bank account and we're owed about another 100,000, which is right about right. We are deep in reworking some of our books to make them make more sense to everyone and to be a lot more transparent. So stay tuned for a slightly different look of categorization next time. Our fiscal year is July 1 through June 30, just so you know. So that's how we present our finances usually. We do accrual based accounting. And so currently a terrible, disgusting number is that our net income is at negative $157,000 on the year. But as I always say, the important thing is the projection out. And based on the agreements we had when I made these, we would still be expected to net $40,000 in profits at the end of the fiscal year. I do also want to be transparent. I did still include the COLA in that math. I know that is still something we're going to talk about. We just want to be transparent that that number is in there. And so even with now paying everybody's premiums next year, we're still expected to net by the end of the fiscal year. And then there was the banking account statement and the credit card statements. Happy to answer any questions if there are any.
You wanted an approval, a vote of approval on your financial report?
We need a acceptance, yes.
I can move it.
Can I just add, Richard, that it's very common this time of year for the district to have less income than expenses. It's my 3rd year as treasurer, and I've noticed that every fall we run into this. So,
Yeah,
Thing.
I understand. That's why I didn't say anything.
okay. I know that number makes you nervous. Me
I
too,
know,
a little bit.
I realize that there's incoming. It hasn't caught up yet.
so how do you pay your? If we're minus 140,
in accrual.
oh, it's accrual. Okay.
Yeah, so we still have the 220 in the bank.
Okay.
Yes. And actually, what a great question. We're gonna talk about a cash flow policy
Yeah.
coming up pretty soon here.
Cash flow's good.
Um,
So we need a second,
Yes.
acceptance of the financials.
We have a first and a second for the acceptance of the report, the financial report. All in favor?
I,
Aye,
Bye.
motion carries.
relatedly, Vicky, I know you had mentioned the VACD dues. I also wanted to kind of get your guys' opinions on, what's this one?
Isn't that
Yes.
one?
We are also technically part of the NACD and they're technically we can basically pay dues to be a member. We're a member no matter what.
Yeah.
The last couple of years I haven't because they have not been providing much value that I was seeing, but I do think we're I wanted to let you guys make that decision. If we wanted to pay some level of dues and be a member, here are the different categories. If you all would like us to pay some dues towards the National Association of Conservation Districts that does lobby on our behalf at the federal level.
Vicky, do you have an opinion on what we could be doing here, or what amount?
I can't see the amounts. It's too small for me to see, but
Sorry.
I don't, historically, I don't think individual districts do pay dues to NACD. I mean, maybe some of the really big ones do, Lauren, but I don't know. Have you discussed this with the other districts in Vermont?
I have not. I guess I thought, if I'm being really honest, this kept coming. I think Jeannie had paid some small amount before I got here.
Yeah,
I do think it was a small amount. And so I did do that for I think the first year or two. And then I kind of paused because they couldn't even update that they still haven't updated,
yeah.
not Jeannie. So. I'm happy to ask the other districts if they are paying this and come back on the December board meeting with that information. Okay,
I think that'd be helpful.
to find if anything is, comes from being a member. I
Yep.
mean, macro, besides just paying the dues and thank you.
great.
It looks like we did a contribution of $775 at one time.
Oh, yeah. I wonder when that was.
Good question.
Well, Jeannie was here.
5 years.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like 2020 or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
I'll follow up
Yeah,
and get
follow
more
up.
information.
I could see.
I'll find out what VACD pays in ACD too. So in theory,
Okay.
VACD is paying for dues to the organization, but anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Wonderful. The next item was I just want to do a quick touch base on the newsletter this year. We kind of had a similar conversation last year. Did I not open it? Of course not. So historically, we have sent out a paper newsletter to everybody that we have a mailing address for this time of year that also includes our tree sale order form. In the past 5 years, we've moved to online ordering for the tree sale, and I would say maximum of 10 people still use the paper order form. We got a quote this year for how much it's gonna cost to print and mail our newsletter in our normal fashion, and it's about $6,000.
Yeah.
How much?
$6,000. So, what we're proposing is that this year we send out a postcard that has a link to our website. And will be much cheaper, but everybody will still receive something in the mail from us, but it will cost probably, I think the last time I sent out postcards, it will be under $1,000. And didn't want to make that kind of dramatic change without checking with everyone. if that would be all right.
As much of a curmudgeon as I am, but I like to have something, I mean, I like to read the newspaper this way.
Yeah.
Right,
But $6,000 kind of, yeah, that
Yeah.
makes it pretty clear that.
yeah, and last year was only $3,000, so they had misquoted us, and then they held it, which was nice. They were like, okay, we're,
But would there be a methodology where you get the card, but somebody who still wants to hold paper
yes.
without going on the internet?
Yes, we would still let them stop in, we'll still have some paper copies,
Okay.
definitely,
Or
and you can also still print
contact
it,
and Mail them
yes,
individual,
yeah.
have
We
that
were
in
also
there.
thinking about mailing those 10 people a paper order form.
Oh.
Yeah.
could do it.
The folks that maybe every year
Yeah. You
mail
don't
it
have
back to us, yeah,
steady customer, that this is, they sit down at the kitchen table and they
right.
Yeah, so you,
figure it out.
So we think
Yeah.
about doing that for those folks that seem to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we do, the majority of our 400 customers do just use the online, ordering system now.
Lauren, can you communicate with them directly saying, you will receive a postcard, but we're gonna transition to, electronic notification too?
Yes,
Cause
I
I
will
think
do
we
that.
still want the newsletter format. So that there's
yes,
some place for them to go and click and see all the great work that you're doing in addition to the seedling sale.
yes, yes. And so on that note, Vicky has a great point. We are still gonna have a print version of the newsletter that people do want a hard copy. They're welcome to come grab a print version of the newsletter. You can also download it as a PDF from our website. And we're also going to make a story map, kind of more interactive thing for our website too, that has the same information, but is structured more fun. And it's almost done. It's like 5 more typos to fix. It's a really good one.
Awesome.
Nice.
So we'll share that around, obviously, with you all.
You gonna have a trout sale again this year?
Yeah, we will. I haven't been able to get a hold of the trout sale guys, but that's not always, that sometimes happens.
Probably deer hunting.
Yeah. So we're gonna hold it, and then for some reason I have to cancel it because I never got a hold of him. I'll let everybody know, but they know. We're
Yeah.
pretty well established with them at this point. I need to make the trout sale paper order form. Can you write that down?
I have it on my to-do list.
Oh, amazing. Wonderful. Okay, so we're all okay with going to postcards this year and probably moving forward, because it is still nice to get a physical reminder that we exist. People do
like
expect
Dan
it.
said, once you threw that number out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like sitting down and going through
Yeah.
and going, oh, that and this, but $6,000, no, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Well, it is because we do have 2,500 people we mail to.
Right.
So,
Do you need a vote on that?
that would be useful.
Okay, I make a motion that no hard copy postcard with link to online.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Who's on first or?
Vicky
Molly,
Vicky can have it.
okay, Dan, Vicky, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried to approve a postcard with links to the online sales.
Wonderful.
And if that don't work, call Lorena.
Yes.
Well, Lauren's phone number is actually.
It's
still
the
on there.
office phone number. It is the landline. Yeah. It usually
No
turns
one
out
wants-
to be my phone.
No one
but-
wants to be in that position. Yeah.
Lorena, talk me on the way out. Operating reserve policy.
Yes. So I did send around a draft operating reserve policy, and this is again kind of come up through the conversations of what money do we have to spend on a building? What do we want to put down, what not? This is a draft that I worked with our accounting consultant on. Vicky's already let me know she caught that one place it did say trustees, which should say supervisors, so I've marked that up here. But basically, this is proposing an operating reserve and a cash flow analysis, in a more structured way than we've done before. the proposal on the table as something for discussion is that we would theoretically like to have at least 3 months worth of operating expenses, not including contractor expenses, because those really just fluctuate so often. And we know that if we receive a bill from a contractor, we know that we have a grant to match it with. And so I'm happy to talk more about how I can ensure that the cash flow between that process stays pretty fluid. But I think the important, what I think is, and obviously up for debate, is making sure we have enough funds to pay staff and personnel and the building, and the vehicle on, for X amount of months. So looking towards 2026, this should be monthly personnel and building expenses. Only personnel and building.
Credit card. That's included in the line truck, but
The credit card, I guess we pay it off every month. So those expenses are factored in to the $75,000.
So they don't want to incur.
Right, we have no interest in any debt.
21%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, the reason we opened the credit card was to have the cash match benefits. Because we were doing a lot of transactions and weren't getting any benefit. So projecting outwards, the monthly amount that is a bit conservative still, is about $75,000 a month in staff, benefits, building, truck expenses. And so if we wanted to say that we would like to have 3 months worth of reserves, that would be 225, which is about what we have in our bank right now. We don't have to have 3 months. We can have 2 months. It's really it's a risk determination that I think we should have a conversation around.
I'd prefer you had 6 months, but honestly, I wouldn't go less than 3. That's just me.
No, I think you're right. We don't, it's a possibility, hopefully not getting into it. But then you're getting yourself self-doing.
Agreed. 3 months minimum. Linda, did you say
Well-
that's how you operated your dentist building?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I figured I yacked enough about that once way back at you guys. But yeah, we just wouldn't even there were huge things we wouldn't put money towards that bugged the heck out of our team. But we were just, very regimented about it, 3 months. And when the pandemic came, it mattered big time.
So you all might be thinking, okay, well then we have no money for a down payment on a building. If we only have $225,000 in our bank account right now, and we have committed to keeping that.
Well, yeah. Going,
Well, I don't know what you pay for rent here, but I'm assuming if you have a mortgage, and now you're paying all the utilities, and I don't know if it's apples to apples, depending what you buy, you might find $75,000 is not enough.
Certainly.
Yeah.
We're currently paying about $3,000 a month here for rent and
Is that-
utilities.
Is that triple net? Oh, it includes everything.
Yes,
Okay.
it doesn't include Wi-Fi, but
Okay.
There, in some of the discussions I did have with the bank, there can be in a municipal loan, there can be some amount of, as long as it's in their bank, they'll I think I'm gonna get this right, but feel free to ask questions and poke holes in the story. As long as the funds are in the bank, they'll put like a $200,000 deposit down for us, knowing that it is backed by our actual funds. As long as they stay in their bank. And then we'll have to obviously pay back that loan, but it's secured by the cash that stays in their bank. Because it's a municipal loan, not a mortgage. We're not allowed to have a mortgage, but we can have a municipal loan.
Lauren, are you factoring in when you said we only have whatever amount in the bank? Are you factoring in all the money that's going to come in the next 3 months with that? Because that needs to be, that's part of your cash flow. It's not just what's there right now.
Yes, wonderful clarifying point. So
So our accounts receivable was like 96,000 or something like that, wasn't it?
yes. Apologize. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really thought too much about cash flow over the years, and this is a little bit of a newer thinking for my brain, because we've had a robust savings. So I do appreciate these questions and making sure that I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's. So we do have about $100,000 in accounts receivable.
And then how much would you anticipate coming in, month 2, month 3? And then that's
Right.
how you figure out, all of that has to be factored in cash flow wise in order to figure out whether or not we have that 3 months minimum. It's not like the
Right.
world stops here and we're not going to get another dollar in.
Right.
Also, I'm just through this whole process, I think that we've got to really step back and remember that if we own our own place, there's a bazillion other expenses that you just need. You need the leaf blower, and then you need the lawn, figure out the lawn care, and then you need like it's if we're paying $3,000 a month, I don't know what you guys are counting on as far as a mortgage, but I can't imagine a mortgage on anything like you're talking about would be less than 2,000 a month.
Right.
And that's given our current topsy-turvy world of interest rates, blah blah blah. But to own your own place is going to cost way more than $1,000 a month. What you've got left. I mean, we have to have a budget that can sustain not just a down payment right now, but a million new expenses that will be ongoing forever. I don't know. I just don't see that in our systems, but I keep pushing my opinion back. This is the first time I've ever said so because I keep thinking, well, I just don't know enough about this organization yet. But to me, the cash flow seems very, very tight. Um, and then you just get one apple cart upsetter where somebody fails on their obligation to us and we're done for. We spent 2 hours talking about whether we could afford health care for our employees. That really worries me in a world where where we're thinking about buying or building $1 million piece of property or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just way out and I don't understand the inflow and outflow, but it concerns me.
I'm assuming we do a budget. We said, okay, here's what we're spending now. What if we buy this building in Highgate? How much money is that? What would it cost us for maintenance? What would it cost us for electricity? What would be all the ancillary costs? And considering that things are gonna go wrong, so we need a rainy day fund as well. So somewhere, I'm assuming that you'll do that. See if this is feasible.
Yes. So I think for I think we were all excited about a building, myself and the staff very much included. And not feeling great about the rent we're paying. And would like to see that going towards equity in a place. I guess we don't have to pay taxes wherever we end up,
Okay,
so that's helpful.
that's helpful.
We will have to pay insurance and everything else. And I think it's so location specific and like situation specific that I don't think we have built out. I know we have not built out a budget of what the ancillary costs will be too.
We've also, Karen talked about building like a Morton building office type scenario on some land. I
Are you
know,
renting,
and Lauren
renting to
is,
someone else?
yeah, Lauren is very nervous about that for many good reasons. Because it'll probably mostly land on her unless we all get our act together and take over and not let her be involved.
And then I will just say, I'm not 100% sure that these numbers I'm showing on the screen right now are completely correct for cash flow. I know that the totals are, but I'm not sure I've allocated them across the months 100% correctly, obviously, as we are now in November, and I'm showing $200,000 in September. But we do have a lot of volatility in when we're allowed to bill for things and our income. And then so this is just showing when I'm allowed to bill for things. It doesn't necessarily include when we actually get paid by different funders. There are certainly some lapses in that timeline. So don't treat this as anything more than illustration of the influx and changes per month. But I can build out a bit more of a cash flow projection.
I think getting back to the original topic, the operating reserve policy,
Yes.
I'm very comfortable with at least a 3 month. I would not go less than that.
Okay.
And I don't want to come in for a board meeting and have to discuss layoffs and go through that painful process, particularly given the team that you've built and how they coalesced. So if that is the priority first off, before and once we have that established, then certainly as funds come in, we can start building a down payment. It may put back the purchase of property or building or whatever by a year or two. But I think we need to be realistic and if the 3 month buffer isn't a priority, then okay, if the priority is getting a place, that's something that we need to clearly agree on, I think, and move forward accordingly.
I think that we got to remember that rent is a fixed cost. Like Lauren, I haven't been good about spending time with you, but we always used to have a budget, an annual strategic planning and budget that divided our costs into discretionary and fixed costs. And that was an enormously powerful way to know where you're spending your money, because you got this huge list, like fiddle that devil, you have to come up with this many hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's fixed, it's not going anywhere. And then the discretionary was whether you wanted to buy another $70,000 x-ray machine. You could get by with the old one now for a while longer, keep repairing it or whatever, but I mean it was like that. And going from a fixed cost of what you've got now, rent, to a discretionary business decision like this, you just have to have a real clear path there of future income, because you can't, once you commit to that mortgage, it's all the other things that come along with it. So that's the way I would do it if I were you. I would take a look at every single nickel that this organization spends and divide it into discretionary. That's things that you've chosen to do, and you could choose not to do it tomorrow.
Sure.
And then you do the fixed cost, which is what's the average power electric bill and the average payroll and the average, all the things that are not going away.
Great. I'm happy to work on that. I'm gonna be very honest, I can probably get that for the January meeting.
I
I'm
would
not gonna
like
be
to
able
see that before we go much further in considering a property.
Okay,
Purchase, because then you'll know how much, what you've got to play with.
yep. I'm happy to work on that for the January meeting. With that, I guess, would we like to adopt this policy? And at this point in time, there are no hard numbers in the actual policy itself. It's just this theory of we'd like to keep 3 months operating reserves.
There's an awful lot of, could you send another draft around before that's been cleaned up?
Yes.
There are a lot of
Yes,
things on that before we have policy. I'd like to have
yes,
something that's a little more. Formal.
yes.
Uh-huh.
I will do that for the December meeting.
Great, great.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Wonderful.
Onward.
Oh, actually, sorry. It's not exactly on here, but we did have one thing come up that is related to finances that I was hoping, we could get a quick vote on, and that's why Mel just joined in case folks noticed that.
I did send you a link of the.
You did?
presentation.
Okay. Been hearing my chat go off.
Mm-hmm.
Is it in chat or in,
Yeah.
Gmail? Okay. If you wanna start talking while it pulls up, my computer's been real slow.
So we have a project on the branch in Enosburg. It's a floodplain restoration project. It is funded by the Clean Water Service Provider, which is state funding. And when we do state projects, anything that involves ground disturbance with state funding needs to follow state cultural resources review requirements. So that involves things like archaeological resources assessments. If the structure is going to be impacted, like the dam, historical assessments and documentation. And so we did work with Park and Archaeological Associates during this project's 30% design phase to complete sort of like an initial preliminary assessment of if we need to do anything further for cultural resources investigation, which is an archaeological resources assessment. And they determined that, yes, we need to look further into this because it is possible, just given the site's location on a waterway, it's more likely for pre-contact archaeological artifacts to be present. So that means we need to go further, and it's called a phase 1 investigation, which involves shovel test pits across any areas of the project site that are going to be disturbed. So the project involves a flood chute, lowering of a driveway area, and some tree plantings.
I'm trying to get the map up the shovel testing. I think it's a good one.
Yes.
It's coming.
So basically, we worked with Harkin on the first part of this project, the 30% design. We got funding for 100% design, and that included 20,000 dedicated to potential cultural resources contractor needs. And so Harkin has given us a proposed budget for this phase 1 investigation of 12,000. So it is 8,000 under what we budgeted, so we'd be saving. But because it's over 10,000, we need to come to you and discuss it with you. So yeah.
And
I don't
also,
understand what you just said. There's 20,000 what?
So
Sorry.
and my computer is crashing.
I'll
Okay,
send you this link as well, so you can share the budget if you like.
so we applied for a grant and there's $20,000 that we have access to pay for this work.
Yes.
The cost estimate from the contractor we used in a previous phase of this grant is for $12,000. Because $12,000 goes into the bucket in our procurement policy where the board needs to approve. If it's over 10, that's why Mel's here today. We did our procurement policy, we are not required to have multiple bids below $25,000. So we've only received one budget, and it was just from the person we've already been working with. So if the board deems that amount reasonable, we can just contract with them. If you deem that unreasonable, we can go get more bids. Is the moral of the story. And it's to dig a bunch of holes.
And we're not gonna be doing that in the winter, right?
So it's my understanding, if you guys vote today, they're hoping to go out on Monday.
Oh.
The ground is still soft.
Oh, I know,
Right,
So
so
there is a work window that they're allowed to work in, and so
Oh,
we're
sweet.
very close to that being over.
yeah.
and you know, it's unconfirmed, but they would like to, because I'm sorry, I wish that everyone could see
I know, I'm so
this. You can
sorry.
see this photo here, this big eroding
Well,
bank.
we saw that once.
Yes.
We did
Um,
go up.
The landowners are really concerned, and so they'd like to start work on it in 2026 if it's possible. And so that involves kind of jumping through all these hoops to get to the implementation, to get through all the permitting.
What's the possibility if they find hypothetically a pottery shard, an arrowhead, and we are going to have to continue down this? What's the potential cost? I mean, is it unlimited, open-ended, or just the project comes to a halt?
Either of those things could happen. If it's determined that there's a certain, just one small area where we shouldn't work, we would change the design.
Okay.
And so knowing that now before the winter would be useful. If it turns out that the whole site is too culturally sensitive for us to do any work on, it could just totally kill the project.
How is that defined? I mean, I'm being a
Yeah.
little flippant saying one arrowhead or a burnt
It's an
pottery
easement.
jar.
We've
But-
never actually found anything on any of our projects before, so I don't know.
These yellow
Okay.
spots
The
are where we
Vermont
want to dig the
Division of Historic Preservation would help us make that call.
Okay.
Yeah, I live on Bow Road, so it's
I have that shovel testing up here.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it as well.
Well, almost.
Well, it's.
Oh. Let's have to share it with Vicky and Linda again. Let's see if it works.
And so all this to say,
What's this other road over here?
Route 118. Oh, I don't know what this one is.
That is the Chester Arthur Road
Okay, thank you.
on the other end.
yeah, that's like, I could walk. Yeah.
Oh, so you're
That's right.
you're on, this is what, 108?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. 118? What do I?
but wait.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we're in.
The numbers.
It's right by the cemetery.
There you go.
And the
Oh,
Is
that's
that like,
that's a-
Isn't that
there's
very
like
right
a,
now?
the sign.
yeah.
Yeah, the gas
Yeah.
station sign that just is in a random
Yeah.
location. The
So-
cemetery is right here.
A few of these areas here.
Don't
on
dig
hold.
there.
Don't dig there, yeah.
Here,
Interesting.
and the areas in blue that are outlined in blue are just tree planting areas. And so we're not really sure if the shovel tests need to be done there, but we will know by the time we do it. And so the cost could potentially go down, but we're going to include those areas just like as an add-on in the contract if it's approved by the board. Just to account for it so that we can get it done as soon as possible.
Right, there's a chance that the whole cost might be less than $10,000. But if we do have to include these tree planting sites, which we'll know before they go out. Based on the response from Vermont Division of Historic Preservation. It could be $12,000.
And if you, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I suggest we just move forward. Seems reasonable to me.
Yep.
It is
Me
very
too.
much aligned with the other costs we've gotten for other similar projects. So
Yeah.
we'll also add.
Me too.
So it sounded like Vicky made a motion, Linda maybe
I'll
seconded.
second that. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Go and make a vote.
Yes.
we got a first and a second. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried.
Wonderful.
First, Vicky.
Dan and I were just suggesting that maybe next time you need some digging,
48.
collaborate on
Yeah,
that.
48 holes anywhere.
Perhaps less than
on our
about that.
property, and you wanna do it for 8,000, I'll let you dig
We-
48 holes anywhere.
That suggestion has come up before and we have been shot down so hard because as you're digging it, you need to sift
Yeah.
every
It's
single.
Yeah,
That's
It is-
Yeah.
It's artifact processing and curation. So if you.
I'm
Yes.
curated at heart.
Big time curious, not around the, not around the old mill. I've got nothing around the old mill. That's gonna be the-
Alrighty, we're not that far behind considering where we normally are at this point in the day.
Contractor issue.
We do have a contractor issue, that, in my opinion, that would potentially trigger an executive
Make a
session.
move that we go into executive session to discuss this contractor issue.
Okay, we need somebody else second.
I'll go
I'll
a second.
second.
Yeah,
All right.
all in
Uh,
favor? Aye.
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 Okay, so we've come out of executive session, no motions were made, and
Wonderful.
we're gonna continue with our normal meeting.
Molly,
We
can you
just
head out? That's
become-
fine. I'm just, I guess actually, let's do a quick schedule check-in for the next board meeting.
17.
Does the 17th, does December 17th work for everyone?
That is
Fine for
what?
me.
That is a Wednesday, okay.
I will have to leave by no later than 5 o'clock, maybe 4:30.
Well,
Okay.
hopefully that one will go.
Well, I'll front load decision making.
Yeah.
Okay, December 17th, thank you. And Molly, thank you also
And
for.
legislative briefing, we've discussed that previously. I think we covered that pretty well. So
Yes.
That's good.
thanks, Arena.
Sorry, yeah.
And then the only other item on the agenda was, just an update on my PTO.
What?
My paid time off.
That's what that is.
Yes.
Thought it was parent teachers organization.
Oh, that's fair.
Power take up.
Yeah.
So I do think I shared around my annual leave plan. I have updated it based on all of the fun surgeries that I'm having.
That was the goal.
Using my paid time off.
You know?
It was the goal.
You're meeting,
Molly.
you were meeting the objectives.
Yes.
Hey, you.
So.
Stop cutting things off your body though. You're gonna
Yes,
run out
I'm
of
gonna run
things.
out of things. So on December 2nd, I am having another knee surgery to have, the bolts that were put in, almost exactly a year ago today, removed. I will be on crutches for an amount of time. I've heard worst case scenario is 2 months of crutches again. It might not be that long. I have a check with my doctor on Monday, but, I'll be taking a week off for that surgery. Because most because of the drugs that they put you on afterwards and trying not to make a decision there. Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that that's coming up for me. But honestly, after taking 2 weeks off in October, it went incredibly well. Obviously, the Adams project or the project, maybe had some challenges. But I don't think my being here would have really fixed any of those.
Is to get bolts or screws out? I had a piece of metal taken out of me years ago too.
Oh, yeah?
Thing is, I was walking the following week. But
Good on you.
it looked good on me, it looked good out of me. With a rod that long.
So.
Lauren,
I'm not taking time off. Yes, Vicky.
I have a question about the dam project. When we last met, there was worried about sediment removal. Where's that stand?
What an excellent question you have, Ms. Drew. We are on pause for the winter on that project. It will continue in the spring. The regulators told us to stop. So we did. I am in the process of finalizing a amendment update to our budget as well as a timeline update to our funder. It's a large amount that I anticipate to be submitting, and I imagine there will be much back and forth between myself and the funder and the contractors. It's not an unrealistic amount, and it's just a large amount because it's a large project.
And so this wasn't any fault of the contractor not having the right equipment for the site, right?
No, it was
Okay.
not. And then And then we kind of started the project and then we had to get to a place with it where we could overwinter it. At this point, all of the floodplains should be draining based on where the channel is now and the elevation that's at. So we should be able to go finish up in the spring. It was just one of those sites that every single possible thing that could be an issue was. It was just so wet. The contractor got a couple other contractors to come and give them opinions on other approaches to try to take. We tried some creative approaches and nothing. It was just one of those sites.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think didn't we wait like an extra 2 months because of the permits? And if we'd been
We
able
were
to get in there,
That's a month and a half,
Yeah.
yes.
The
yeah,
permit set it back, right?
Permit set us back because,
Thank you very much.
there was only one Army Corps engineer left in the state after some decisions that were made about staffing.
yeah. And so that all needs to be in the report that goes back to the funders.
Yes. So
My worry, it was the driest fall on record, and is it gonna be any better next year?
it should be
Yeah.
because it's going to be able to drain
Yeah.
over the
Okay.
winter because of the elevation we have the channel at now. The channel's not in the right place, but it's at the right elevation. So it should be able to dewater enough.
Right, and that silt is not underwater anymore.
Right,
I suppose
Okay.
it was underwater.
right,
It was just soggy.
Ugh.
yeah.
Anyway,
So that project is going to kill me, but we'll get through it.
I mean, we worked on a manure pit oh God. Who's the woman that was the lobbyist for the Vermont Dairy Group? Jane, somebody,
Amanda St. Pierre?
huh?
Is it St. Pierre?
No. It was down in Addison or Chittenden County. I'm not sure. I think it was Addison County because that's where the staff were working from, but didn't do appropriate site investigation, Lauren, prior to, and ran into that soggy crap that just couldn't be excavated and had to do 5 feet of rock riprap underneath the concrete to get it stable to pour concrete.
Oh my God.
Wow,
And talk about cost overruns for that poor landowner, for the farmer.
right,
And, we had to go all the way to the chief to ask permission to give him more than what the EQIP regulations allowed. He had the authority to waive them.
sure,
And so, and I had to say it was our oversight in order for him to say, yes,
yeah,
that we failed to do proper site investigation. So anyway,
Yeah.
there's just crap out there like that happens. So
yeah,
it's like
it's unfortunate.
quicksand.
An early one for us, but yeah.
I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with your family and friends and relax for a little bit. And it's a pleasure working with all of you. So thank you.
I love the way you brought that back to something positive, Dan. So
Thank you, man. I agree. I really liked, this was a really fun group to have today too. I feel like this was a really, just great meeting.
well,
yeah,
Absolutely.
it was fun and it was productive too. We have
Yeah,
real good, from Linda, Vicky, even our new, person that came in, and Karen,
yeah,
and
We need
Walter.
a vote to adjourn.
yes.
Oh,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
all in
second.
favor? Okay, second by
Thank
Vicky,
you.
all
Yeah.
in favor?
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job as always, Lauren. Great to see
Thank
you
you.
guys. Come visit. If anybody wants to get out, get some more.
We need to talk soon. Oh, she's up.
She's off. Yes, Vicky, enjoy the sunshine.
Yes, thank you.